Being a gamer and a parent isn't easy. It's hard to find time to do the things you enjoy or used to do to relax. And even when you do finally get a moment, you're generally too exhausted to enjoy it. Here are my 5 tips for trying to get some gaming time in with your new little one. I want to start off with saying this video is not intended to give any kind of parenting advice or help you with raising your kids. Rather, this is about you and your mental health, and how gaming can actually help you maintain your mental health. I am not a mental health expert by any means, but I am a lifelong gamer and a mother of 2. This is all from my experience and perspective. You may have different experiences or opinions, and that's okay. These are just the things I have learned and experienced on my parenting journey. With that said, let's dive into my top 5 tips for gamers who are now parents. First of all, timing is everything. Once upon a time, you could game for hours, uninterrupted, whenever you wanted. Now, your sessions are dictated by the whims of a tiny overlord who, let's be honest, is a smidge demanding. While your little one brings so much to your life, it can be hard to have someone so dependent on you and to cope with such a major life change. Nap time and bedtime are prime gaming time, if your little one decides to stay down. Every baby is different, and they go through phases. If you're lucky, your little one naps like a rock. If you're not, you're playing on nightmare mode and are up against the scariest and most stressful boss fight of your life. In those moments, gaming's not really important. But if you do get them to go down, it is your time to rest and recover from the demands of being on call all day. Sleep, eat, relax, watch TV, or game. Whatever will help you recharge your batteries and psych yourself up for round 2. I recommend trying to keep a baby monitor nearby so you don't spend half your gaming session wondering, was that a cry, or the wind, or something from the game? I personally have a portable baby monitor with a fair bit of battery life, so even if I'm all the way in the basement, I can hear if my kids cry. I also have a camera connected to an app on my phone so I can tell what's wrong before I even get there. This takes a lot of the stress out of my gaming sessions. I'm not constantly checking to see if my kids are okay. Then I can just focus on my gaming session and I can start feeling more like myself so I can give my kids the best of me. My next tip is to game smarter, not longer. Unfortunately, some games just don't fit into this new season of life, especially at the beginning. But I promise you that it will change as they grow. That said, if you are new to parenting, you're likely realizing you have enough grind IRL without adding game grinding to it. Even if you do make some progress in a game before being called away, it's hard to remember what you were doing when you do finally get to sit down and play your game again, which could, let's face it, be days later. I love games like Ark, but trying to tame a dino, collect resources, or grind out a base with the baby monitor in hand, or needing to respond to cries every 10 minutes, it's more frustrating and stressful than it is relaxing. Rather than being a way to recharge, it becomes even more draining. This doesn't mean that these games are impossible, but it's good to know what you're getting into before you start trying to commit to things. You may want to consider more flexible games or less time-intensive games if you're finding that you are not getting the recharge you need. I found cozy games with straightforward or predictable storylines, or minimal storyline at all, or games that allow for decent progression in short periods of time, allow for the most relaxation and the most fulfilling game time. Games like Pokemon, Mario, and Animal Crossing are all examples of games that respect your time and let you feel like you've done something even if it's only been 15 or 20 minutes. My next piece of advice is probably the hardest: to let go of perfectionism and other people's opinions. There is a ton of pressure for everything to be perfect. Have a perfectly clean house, have a perfectly well-behaved and adjusted child, and to never make a mistake while parenting. But that is an impossible standard. Likely everything right now feels really messy. Probably your house looks like a bomb's gone off in it. Your brain might feel fuzzy, and like basic arithmetic is just too hard. It may be hard to keep your cool, and you might feel guilty for choosing a game instead of folding laundry during the only quiet 20 minutes you've had all day. You're sleep deprived, you're exhausted, and you're on the hook for a little person who will not survive without you. But at the end of the day, if your kid is loved, fed, clean, and you're keeping it together even 60% of the time, you're doing great. And you need to take care of your own mental health too, in order to give your baby your best you. Minimal sleep and constantly responding to your baby's demands are draining. It is for everybody. It doesn't mean you don't love your baby, or that you aren't coping well, or that you're a bad parent. It's just a fact. And some seasons will be easier or harder than others. When they are sleeping and happy, it's easy. When they have gas or teething pains, are going through a sleep regression, or exercising some newfound independence and stubbornness, it's a totally different story. Games aren't a waste of time. They're a reset button, your version of self-care, and you don't owe anyone an explanation for what helps you feel human. It's easy to look at other parents online and feel like you're falling behind, like you aren't handling things as you should, or that you are failing. I know I personally have experienced this many times myself, and sometimes still do. But that's the highlight reel. No one's posting about their third diaper blowout before noon, how they had a 5-minute crying break in the bathroom, or the existential dread at 2 a.m. Everyone puts forward the best version of themselves, especially online, but even to friends and family too. No one wants to admit they are struggling, especially when they are watching the same reels you are. And everyone adjusts to parenthood differently. It's a major life change, and it's okay and normal for it to feel like more than just a little bit of a disruption. Your journey is yours, and not only is it easy to compare yourself to other parents, but it's easy to compare kids too. But each one is completely unique. One baby loves music, another screams at lullabies. Even siblings can feel completely different. Milestones are guidelines, not finish lines. You're not failing as a parent if your little one doesn't do everything at the exact same time as your friend's kid. Your child has their own timeline, and you're adapting like a pro. So don't let others shame you into not caring for your own mental health or feeling guilty about what things help you recharge. And definitely don't shame yourself for it. That being said, there will be days where you don't get to game or even shower, and that sucks. Maybe your baby will only nap while being held, or you're so exhausted even turning on the Switch or PC feels like climbing a mountain. Don't get me wrong, I adore my children. There is nothing I love more than to hear their laughs and be there to share their joy, to watch them learn and grow, and to watch their personalities emerge. I love my children with my whole heart and would do anything for them, but that doesn't mean I don't get tired or that it's easy. Parenting is not for the weak. And when I'm run down, burned out, and tired, I'm not giving my babies the best me. I'm not as much fun to be with, and I'm not able to give them as much energy and enthusiasm as I want to. I'm likely even a little irritable or grumpy, and that's not who I want to be with them. In those moments when you are feeling drained and exhausted, remember you're in survival mode. You're not lazy or unloving. You're not a failure. You're spent. Listen to your body and how you are feeling. If you've got support, lean on it. Be it a spouse, partner, family member, or even a good friend. If you don't, please know you're not weak for struggling. You're just carrying a heavy load. Look for mom or parent groups in your city and neighborhood, or even in online communities. Even if someone can't physically be there with you, it is helpful to have someone to lean on and talk to. And you may be able to meet people around you going through the same thing, and you can support each other. Children will push you to the limit sometimes, physically and emotionally, and test what you are really made of. And I promise you are made of so much more than you thought. And remember, this is just a season. Yes, sometimes it can feel like an IRL roguelike, but it is so worth it. Your little one loves you unconditionally and depends on you, and wants to share every joy with you. Postpartum depression, anxiety, burnout, it doesn't matter what kind of parent you are, they come for us all. Moms, dads, adoptive parents, foster parents. This road can be lonely and overwhelming. If you're feeling numb, sad, angry, disconnected, please talk to someone. Let a loved one or a support person know. Contact your local health clinic or helpline. Don't try to tough it out on your own. Getting help doesn't make you a bad parent, it makes you a smart one. And it definitely doesn't mean you are weak. Your mental health matters. If you want to provide the best environment for your baby, you need to make sure you are okay first. So, as someone who has struggled with all of these things, please speak up. Share your wins and your struggles. And remember that all parents struggle, and struggle differently. Try to be there for your partner and ask them to be there for you too. Or ask someone around you to give you a break sometime, or even just listen. Gaming has changed now that you are a parent, but that's okay. And it's okay to also miss it. It doesn't mean you don't love your baby as you should. Your life has just had a drastic change. Your play sessions are shorter, your save files messier, your focus scattered. But you're still a gamer. You're still you. And maybe one day you can share that joy of gaming with your little one too. You've leveled up into someone stronger, and probably are quickly learning to game one-handed while rocking a baby. So pause when you need to, save when you can, and remember, this is your story too. You're not just surviving, you're parenting, and you're doing great. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, please consider giving it a like or subscribing to my channel for future videos. I would also love to hear about your experiences as a gamer parent and what advice you have to other gamer parents as they adjust this new adventure. Thank you so much for watching.